All right, let's dive right in. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a look at the very framework that holds us all together, the human body. You know, there's just something profoundly amazing about looking past the surface to understand the hidden architecture of our own physical form. So, if you've ever been curious about how we're actually built from the ground up, you are in the exact right place. Today, we are taking a macro to micro journey to map out the human skeleton and really grasp this complex biological puzzle in a clear, structured way.
Today, we are going to talk about the names of the bones in the human body and explore them in more detail. Now, I know anatomy can sometimes feel like you're drowning in a sea of complex Latin words, right? But honestly, if we explore this framework systematically, it lets us beautifully map out our own biology.
Things first, we need to learn the exact name and specific location of each bone. Think of this like drawing a map of a brand new world. I mean, if you really want to understand a city, you've got to know the street names and where the major landmarks are located, right? Well, the skeletal system is exactly the same way. Pinning down the exact name and specific location of every single bone is basically our mandatory first milestone. It is literally the essential scaffolding for everything else we're going to learn today. Moving on to Section 3, Inside the Bones, Discovering Hidden Structures.
Now, when we contrast the outside, the names and locations we just talked about, with the inside, we discover the really important structures and parts found within each bone. It's wild to think about, but bones aren't just solid, static rocks holding us up. They're actually dynamic, living structures packed with internal parts that are absolutely vital to our survival. By comparing our external map to these internal mechanics, we really start to get a sense of the sheer biological depth we're dealing with here.
And finally, Section 4, the big picture, organizing the skeleton.
So, by taking this structured journey together, we walk away with three main takeaways. First, a way better understanding of the human skeleton as a complete entity. Second, a clear grasp of how different individual bones are actually structured on the inside. And third, a comprehensive view of how all these bones are organized overall. It's really the perfect synthesis. We go macro to learn the locations, we go micro to figure out the internal structures, and then we zoom all the way back out to macro to see how beautifully the whole shebang is organized into one unified system.